Hi.
Hi.
John Paul, right?
John Paul.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We met once or twice at house. Two times.
I don't quite remember that.
Yeah. I remember that time.
Sorry, your name is?
Sidney.
Sidney.
Yeah. You were with Colette that time. Colette at house at the open mic that one night.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Some time ago. I remember that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Sidney.
And then I remember Bernice, Andre, Frederick, bunch of the Swindon guys. They usually run the place at house.
Yeah,
Right.
that was a while back.
Yeah. Oh, you mean?
Not bad. And yourself? What have you been doing since our last met?
Same old. Yeah, simply the same old thing at the OCBC bank in town.
Okay.
Yeah, doing like property management and stuff like that. Yeah. You know me, John Paul.
Yeah, so until you mentioned that, I didn't really know you, but still a bit vague, but yeah, vaguely your face looks quite
You
familiar.
might maybe have to. Do you know my sister? Shannon Ban.
Shannon.
Yeah. I mean, she performed at the open mic at house at the time. It's always there. And
Was I serving you drinks from the bar?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe okay. Yeah.
Were you in the same batch with Andre? I drink the more. I drink Subin.
I don't think so. My uni days are kind of a blur, honestly. I don't remember much. I was like the kind of guy who went to uni then left.
I see.
Nothing, no memories attached there. My campus life honestly began after I left uni.
Okay.
Then I started having uni friends. Then I started
Interesting.
hanging out at rooms and like.
Interesting.
So you study Swinburne as well?
I was actually so I was in Lodge up to Form 3. So like Mr. Winning and Andre during that bunch. Then moved to Singapore after that. So did like O-levels, A-levels, Singapore. Then uni in Melbourne.
Oh,
So I was in Melbourne, like uni, worked a few years.
is that how you know Melvin?
I actually knew Melvin through my sister. He is my sister's batch. So like Jeanette, Melvin, a bunch, like close friends with Shannon and stuff. Yeah.
Wait, the Shannon, like her Instagram handle is.
Singling.
Oh, okay. Her name is Shannon.
She's a very tall and very tall girl, long hair, long.
Right. So it's coming back to me now. Okay.
That's what.
Yes. Okay. Cool. What did you study? Banking.
Back in Melbourne,
Yeah.
Oh,
finance. Law.
very law. Yeah.
And then now you work in the bank.
As in, I do like a property management for the bank itself, not in the bank. So like the building lah, or like the repair maintenance work, or like boring things.
Cool.
You yourself?
I did software engineering in uni, but then I couldn't sit behind a computer all day long, so I left the field
Yeah.
and I pursued NGO work and then on the creative scene.
Yeah.
Is life short?
It's not short.
Interesting question. Is life short? Yes and no.
Yeah. In some aspects, I think it is.
It was extremely short and feels extremely long. I think the suffering feels long and the joy
Always.
feels short.
Always, yeah.
And it kind of makes it like in between.
Yeah. I say like, when you like, when you have a good time, like time flies.
Yeah.
And when it sucks, and it's like, oh, it's terrible. Stuck there, but
And this is our OG raw original.
Cheers.
cheers, right?
Solid.
Yeah. Life's short. Yeah, especially when it comes to like sort of family time kind of thing. You sort of take it for granted. I think it's gone
True.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you ever watch those, have you seen those trending like Instagram reels and stuff like people are like, oh, if you're working overseas, you come back home once a week per year kind of stuff. So like your parents are like 60 or something, they live for 20, 30 years. So it's actually only come back to see your parents for 20, 30 times and that's it. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. I remember watching it, it's like, oh shit. And we actually count it out. It's like,
I'm actually feeling exactly that right now because 5 years ago, my parents left to bring my grandma to India to visit all the relatives, and then on the way back, pandemic hit,
Okay.
and they've been stuck there ever since, you know. And I haven't really had a chance to like live with them.
So till now?
Until now.
Oh wow.
Because I'm alone in Kuching.
Yeah,
My siblings are so away.
Yeah.
So before that, the mentality was like, oh, I wanna move out. I wanna like find my own place. You know, like be away from family. And then said family left me, and then now I'm like,
Wait, miss them, right?
yeah, like them. I miss them so much. I'm like, why? So sometimes we don't know what we are actually wishing for until it happens, and then you're like, oh damn. So yeah, we do video call here. It's not the same.
So both parents, grandma, back in India.
Yeah, back in India.
And siblings?
Siblings, my youngest brother is in the US. My two sisters, older sisters are twins. One's in KL, the lawyer. One's in Baur, the doctor. So yeah, all the way as well.
Nice.
How about yourself, siblings?
Two sisters, one older, one younger. So Jenna's young.
Jenna's the younger.
Yeah, got an older sister in Singapore. Yeah, she's been there since after Form 3 as well. She studied there, got a job, married Singaporean, and basically pretty much Singaporean.
Parents around?
Yeah, Grand around.
But you live with them?
Yeah, still
So at least you still have them around.
I'm still on your edge. Jump on, I'm like, come here to get out.
I understand the sentiment, but yeah, appreciate what you can. Family makes life both short and long at the same time. I feel, you know, it can be so stressful, but
okay, put it in me. I understand.
Have you always been close to your siblings?
Yeah, pretty much. Because my older sister's about 2 years older. Shannon's 4 years younger. We were quite close always growing up. Up to the point where my sister left to Singapore after Form 3. So essentially, like she went there, then she kind of sort of tricked me into going to Singapore. It's like, hey, come, Singapore's so fun, you know, the great place, yada yada yada. Then we head over there, it's like, shit, this place sucks. It's like, I mean, it's just like academic wise, pressure is really bad. It's like you go there, oh, I want to write the students, but then there's like hundreds of other geniuses ahead of you. It's like middle of the time come from the body. So I mean, academic wise was bad. Because I went to an old boys school, so staying at a boarding school and like being with boys all the time, it was a whole different experience, man. Like 15, 16, it was pretty, like, how to say, it had a big impact on your formative years. Seeing that, just hanging out with boys all the time.
I used to be, I think my relationship with my siblings only got super close when we went apart to study and all. Then suddenly there was this desire to like, we need to reconnect, we need to like build that bond, keep preserve it, keep the family together. But yeah, growing up was always like, I hate my siblings. That's true.
So the four of you are the youngest, third?
Yeah.
And twin sisters.
Okay. I don't know about that.
What was your upbringing like growing up? Because my dad has always boasted himself as like one of those like upper class honors finish, you know, like smartest student kind of stuff. Mom also came from like quite a teacher academic background. So I think both parents value education and grades quite highly from young. And that's how my mom was a kindergarten principal as well. Then her 3 kids went through her kindergarten and think that way. So I mean, growing up, very standard Asian thing. Good grades, homework, stuff like that. So it's been, I think me having 2 sisters around, I think it's sort of being like a little child between the two. It sort of mellowed me down a bit in a sense. A bit more flexible, a bit more able to maintain and play both sides and stuff like that. Yeah. Upbringing wise, I think okay.
My friends were strict with people, like,
somewhat.
Walk on and stuff.
Somewhat. I think so after like primary school. I think primary school was really bad. And we reached secondary, secondary from 1 from 2, like new school, new everything. So that is you get to, how to say, teething issues that you get to work it out. Yeah.
Wait, you went to boarding school at what age?
16?
16.
Yeah. So I go from 3. 16.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you didn't actually finish from 5 yet?
Yeah. From 3, 16, I was there for 4 years in Singapore. Yeah. I'd say grades wise was not good, but staying in boarding school, that experience, that was great. That was very fun.
Yeah.
Really?
Interesting question, because I think there's something that I've been talking to my parents a lot about recently. So I didn't really have this channel of open communication with parents growing up. You know, it's always like, parents are right, we know what's best for you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but now at least, I don't know, we've somehow established this ability to like talk about feelings and things like that. And I do tell them, like, actually growing up was really hard. You know, it was, where there was things like excessive rules or like overemphasis on like studies or like what other people think, or, you know, those things, it messes with you. Like, you know, I was a kid, but then somehow it sticks with me for today, you know, and these things. But things, I don't blame them. Like, they were so like, who knows how to raise kids, right? It's something that, and I think they did an amazing job raising 4 kids. That all of us have completed our studies, we're on like a next stage of life and things like that. So they did amazing, but we still have to have these conversations with them, because we need to regulate whatever that we experience, so that we break the cycle, you know, so that we don't have to pass it on to our kids as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, the conversation has just started like maybe in the past 2 years or so, and it's hard, but I understand more. I empathize with parents more. But yeah, very education oriented Indian parents, you know, standard. They wanted the whole collection. One doctor, one lawyer, one engineer, one chemical engineer. So they achievement unlocked. Well, they got all 4. Yeah.
Understand.
They did a lot of sports. My parents were the kind who, like, they gave us opportunities to like try anything that we wanted. So we were in sports for a while. We were in like gymnastics. We played a lot of futsal, football, music instruments like piano, violin. So, you know, there was exposure to a lot of things. We didn't necessarily like really go into one of it, but yeah, it was, I would say I had a really good childhood in that sense. Very balance of both, you know, sweet memories, bitter memories. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm going on a bit of a tangent. And let's say, since you say you're already starting this open channel of communication with parents, right? Talking about it. Is there anything you wish that when growing up, again, academics, high school, or uni, whatever, anything they could have done or said differently? Just one thing, and that would have helped with you during that period of time.
I think maybe it was not to associate life too much with the whole notion of like guilt and shame, you know, like, oh, other people think, or don't do that, like, you know.
It's a very good thing.
I think so too. Yeah, because I think maybe if I didn't go through that, I would have a bit more openness to like connect with people, or because I think my guard was up really all the way up to maybe after uni, and only then I kind of like really like loosened up, mingle with all of these guys, and then really got to learn how to talk to people and really build relationships and things like that. But yeah, very Indian family. But I understand migrant families. You know, my grandparents were brought by the British, and then they were in survival mode. And then my parents kind of inherited a bit of survival mode. So we're actually the lucky generation, right? Because we're not in survival mode anymore. We're like
correct.
learning how to appreciate life and things like that.
Understood. Yeah.
For me, would be, the only thing that I always thought about was because when you go to uni, then going back, and I remember like, maybe my 3rd or 4th year uni finishing, I remember talking to my dad about it, because my dad's like a family business here. We typical like Chinese and stuff lah. So about doing about it, family business here, you need anyone a trick is come back to help out with it. He always say the same thing. So no, he will just go ahead, go do your thing, go work for there, see the work and stuff like. And but I know that like this is like it's just essentially keeping a can humble. Like it's a sooner or later, you know. So even after uni, after you work, you know that this will happen eventually. Then because COVID came, so that was the push that came back. So to me, I was like, if I think about it, when I think about, let's say, big ass, like, rich families, like, Tin-packing families or something like this, really, all these things have to really pass on to generations, right? Yeah. In those families, I said, you kids just mixing your job is just go to uni, get a degree, make friends, have fun, party, whatever, then you just come back for that. Like, if I had that mindset, as a right, 4 years in Australia, I just need to pass and do what I need to do and just come back and work. Like, might have been different, experience very different, you know. It's like, it's a really small thing, but it's like, always wonder, like, what if, you know, that kind of stuff, right? It's like, yeah. or they decided you waited just 4 years, just get a degree, do whatever you want, and then come back work you for it, kind of thing.
But how's your relationship with your parents like today? Are you guys able to like regulate the past?
I'm better with my mom. My dad is definitely the very typical businessman, money on his mind, man has money all the time, kind of thing. Everything's about work. And because I work with my dad, so it's like, I go to work with my boss, I come home with my boss, I eat dinner with my boss. That's how it is. Yeah.
So it's a very typical this sort of relationship in a sense.
Do you think that could change? I really.
I highly doubt so. It's very hard to, change will be more on my end to sort of like accept him for who he is, how he's like, and sort of like work my way around it because he is who he is, right? He's like 60, 61, 60 plus this year. It's been like this all his life. So asking him to change what he has been for the past 30, 40 years, it's a bit harder. What's something about yourself that you wish people knew? It's a hard.
It's a hard one way.
Right, I'll say this. It's not something about myself that I wish people knew. Friends already know this, but it's just more like I wish more people know about this and they were somehow accommodated. So generally, let's say if you go out for drinks and stuff, right? I personally I like this. I'm a whiskey guy. I like to drink whiskey, like try different things, stuff like that. It's okay, but then because in Kuching, most guys like beer,
Yeah.
so just you go with the flow, drink beer and stuff like that. So it's like I have a bunch of friends who like whiskey as well, ordering one bottle, finishing it in one night. I think it's very doable. 4 people, 5 people, it's okay. And there's an easy, like, it's compared to getting like 4 sets, 5 sets of beer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, you get smashed throughout the night, like one bottle of whiskey.
Gas or
Yeah. So like one bottle of whiskey, like 4 or 5 guys, you just try to chill and finish it. Call it night. I think it's all right. Yeah. I like that. I enjoy that. Like, and I mean, I can't really do it outside. Let's say come to my house, you chill, I open the bottle of whiskey. Do it? Yeah, it's fine. I kind of wish that can be more
commonplace.
more common.
Yeah.
Or more like openly available, like my friends will go open to it. That kind of thing.
I guess one of the things that I wish people knew, but a lot of people do already know, is that I'm actually very rebellious. I go against the grain. I'm very like down with the system. I hate the banking system.
Really okay.
Yeah, I honestly have a tendency to always voice my opinion about a lot of things. If I disagree with maybe some structure in society or how money is leveraged against impoverished communities or things like that, or just Malaysian politics, I will always have something to say about it. But it doesn't come from a place of like, I understand things better. It's more about like just feeling the need to lend a voice to those who do not have one. So, but it can be taken the wrong way. It can always come off as very abrasive because, like maybe like the whole Israel Palestine thing. I will be vocal about it because what's happening. But a lot of people say like, you're meddling with things that isn't your business or things like that. But it's just me. I have to. I just can't not do that. And I mean that helped me in my work when I was doing the NGO stuff because I think you've got to have a kind of like vigor and passion to like fight for something like that.
Want change to make
to want to make change. Yeah, so I want to. I don't be like the one who makes it happen, but I want to be like one of the elements that fit in this whole machine that help to bring about some change. Thank you.
Basic thing. Special.
I like this. That's great.
Yes.
Just
What was the kindest thing someone ever did for you? This was a pretty solid question.
what's the kindest thing? It's kind of. I'll try to go through this as briefly as I can. So I went through quite breakup or slash divorce, you can say, maybe back 2-3 years back, end of 2021. So during the time I was here, it's sort of like first girlfriend, first wife, like since high school and stuff was pretty bad. So during that period of time, quite a lot of shit happened. So I would say the kindest thing that the people who did for me was my friends being there for me anytime I want. They say like, no, I'm doing happy hour, let's need a drink, something like they'll calm me, drink, and just numb it for a while, forget about life for a while. That's it. Parents, I mean, when I eventually found out more things, giving me the time and space I needed, and I told them that they said, I'm going through some shit, I'll be okay for the now. Just for this period of time, I just need to drink and get pissed and smoke and whatever for a while, kind of stuff. Just to, I don't know, grieve, mend a broken heart, some shit, and that's it. Yeah. So, yeah, those period of time, kind things that my parents, my family did, being there for me, giving me time and space, friends being readily available anytime I need to. Yeah. And which I thought over time to like say, thank God you guys are there. Because on that flip side, I had a funny story. But one of my friends, like one of my bros I know, right, was there for us. And he went through his breakup like quite a few years back. I think one of the friends was busy chasing another girl. One friend was based in Kel, one was based in Perth. He was basically alone coaching for that month. And he told me essentially, I think every day after work, whatever it is, you just go to like Lighthouse in Brighton, order 5 sets of beer, finish it off, and go home for like a month. It's like, holy shit! I can't imagine that. Oh, that's terrible to just go through that and just drown yourself in beer and sorrow for that 4 weeks. Like, wow, that's bad. That's it. I think God you have kids. I'm good for you now. So that's mine.
So how long were you married?
Very short. So together 11 years relationship. Marriage lasted maybe 1. Yeah, because essentially like, it's like COVID, things like that. I came back, then had to go back to Melbourne, settle some stuff, and then it's like, since we're long-term stuff when I was thinking, I mean, not go back to Melbourne anytime soon with COVID happening. So when I went, I was like, oh, why don't we just might as well just get a paper signed and stuff like that, you know? They have everything done since the family's over there. They had a small ceremony and things there. So after that, came back end of 2020, early 2021. Yeah, then it just after things started going downhill from there.
Well, this things and stuff.
Yeah, so like essentially married in 2020, breakup / divorce in 2021 within the 1 year time. Shortly after the breakup, then / divorce, my grandma passed away. So I closed that. So like it's a doubly. It's like that period of time was really bad for me, quite rough. Yeah, those 2 months.
But is that like broken your sort of like drive to like find another partner or to like pursue love again?
No. I'm with like my current girlfriend, but it has definitely changed my perception of like being, let's say, fanciful. I mean, like, you know, those things like, oh, one true love, the one for you, soulmate partner. I'm like, nah, I think that thing doesn't really exist. Because like, if you find someone, you know, you're comfortable, then okay, like you can sort of imagine I can do life with you and be like, you know, a companion for life, something like that. It's good enough. It's also things more like, oh, you know, first girlfriend, first love, and all this kind of
Agreed. I've been very blessed to have like a lot of amazing people in my life, and I think I've received so much kindness in so many ways. I think one genre of kindness that I feel like I've really appreciated the most is that throughout my life, there have always been people who stood by me, gave me support, and who was just there for me, like, despite everything, you know, like when they say like things were rough at work, and then like it was maybe something devastating happened, like people just like stood by and like, no worries, man, do your thing, I've got your back. And those are the things that really like is stuck here, you know. I will forever remember those moments, that solidarity, you know, camaraderie kind of thing.
It's like your friends, your community, your tribe kind of thing.
Yeah, even if some of the things were like really jarring thing that had to make them choose between like maybe their faith or something like that. But then they stood by the friendship because, like I said, I'm very, you know, I've voiced my opinions about a lot of things and I can ruffle a lot of feathers. And despite it ruffling feathers, they were like, they had my back. And I appreciate that. That was to me real kindness.
Open space, talk about it, then you feel safe. And they're still friends. Just agree to disagree. Right.
Because in a lot of these moments where I felt this kindness was when the majority of people were like, oh, let's avoid JP for now, or let's
Understand.
But they stood by me, and I think that was kind. That was very kind. I don't understand why they did it till today, but yeah.
Are you kind to yourself? Why or why not?
This is a question that I think I have been asking myself very often in the past few years. So just give you some backstory. The turning point of my life happened during the pandemic. I think before that I was very guilt-ridden with past, like just heavy laden with like the notion of shame or things like this, or just maybe racist comments from the past, and that it really held me down and really prevented me from, because everything I'll be ultra defensive. Like if I felt someone did this way, I'll immediately react like and think like, oh, you're doing this because you don't like me or you're racist towards me. You know, like it was automatic. It's not like I wanted to be that. It's like natural defense mechanism. So, but then, and I had this ultra extroversion phase in my life where morning till night, like 2, 3, 4 a.m. I needed to be around people. I couldn't stand being alone. Like if I go home, it'll literally be because I'm super tired. And just to shower, drop dead in bed kind of thing. And then the pandemic hit, and suddenly I found myself alone at home for like a good long period of time. And honestly, friends would call like, "Are you okay?" Because everybody knows like I cannot not be around people. So I appreciate them calling to find out. But it was then only when I asked myself like, why was I so aversive to being on my own? I think I was just like afraid to be with my thoughts, afraid to like introspect a bit about my life. And that's when I started like learning how to love who I am, learning how to be comfortable with the person I am today. Like despite to say whatever my past has, like my past self has done, or the things I've gone through, it's just to be kind of realize that, sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you burn bridges, sometimes you do not judge correctly. But that process of learning how to love myself happened very recently. So I think now yes, I'm very kind to myself.
Much kinder.
Much kinder to myself. But it's something that if you look back, that frame of thought did not exist in my life before that. I did not have that notion of like forgiving your past self, trying to be kind to your younger self. So now, even if I make a mistake now, I really go back and ask myself, like, it's okay. Sometimes you make the wrong decision.
So are you much better being alone now?
Oh no, I love being alone.
You're literally swinging from.
Legit, now whenever I say no to an outing, everyone's like, huh? JP said no to hanging out. Like,
JP, not the same with you.
I mean, I will still hang out all the time, but like, I do not need to do it because I just want to have company around. Like, now, if I want to just spend time on my own, I'll spend time on my own.
That's choice. Understand. For myself, I think I'm quite kind to myself in a way. I'm very accepting of who I am. When people can say that as being content, being lazy, stuff like that, I would say, to a certain extent. Right? I am okay enough to say that and to admit that, I'm sort of happy with who I am, what I am, where I am. And being okay saying that thing, it takes a lot of knowing yourself, knowing thyself, how you're like, what you're capable of. Some things I'm just good at this, some things I'm not. And some things I like, some things I don't. That is it, like, that is who I am.
We will cross paths again.
Yeah, highly unlikely, but
Confirm. Confirm. We will never meet.
I like that. Listen, don't stop learning. Cheers to that, GP.
Sure, man.
It's going really good.
They were saying that they were hoping that we wouldn't know each other, but I guess we failed again.
Somehow, yeah.